I could of course just used a brush and roller to do this job, but honestly I stole the idea of getting one of these off Down Under Woodworks. Make sure you check out Vic. I'm not sure if he has this exact model or not, but the idea of a paint sprayer when you have a complicated surface and for saving paint, and because I really don't like painting that much, it seemed like a worthy investment. As you saw by the quick video of the roof, I've got some pipes and I've got corners and I've got complicated areas, and this should hopefully be a lot faster. Now I am a novice both with a regular paint brush and with one of these, so we'll see how it works for a completely new person. Taking a look in the box, this is the Wagner 590, although I do believe that the 570 is almost identical. Honestly, I got the 590 because it comes in a box. In the box we've got quick start instructions. This is pretty cool. Test poster so you can practice your spraying, which I'll have a crack at very shortly. Couple of collars to help you fill up the two options of sprayer that you get in there, and some comprehensive instructions. I've just had a read of those. Yes, I am one of the people who buys a tool and actually reads the instruction book. They're very clear. Germans, they do good English, and that was pretty straightforward to understand. In the box we've got the main thing, of course, which we'll look at much closer. It's back heavy. That's because you're going to have heavy paint on the front. One of the things I've already noticed, and honestly other people have referred to in reviews of these things, is the cable is really short. So you're going to need a good extension cable to get any use out of this on walls and ceilings, as I intend to. A little packet of some spare bits and pieces, and two guns. A detailed sprayer for fences and small objects, and the ceiling and wall sprayer, which is the one we're going to use today. The other really cool thing in here, which I liked, is this glorified stirring stick. It is a stirring stick, it's also a jemmy to open paint cans, and the best part of it is this. So when it's inside those pots, it gives you stepped dilutions of 10%. This thing should work without diluting most paints, but really thick paints and for certain applications, that's going to make life easy. It means you don't have to measure out two separate things. Alright, that's my crappy unboxing. Let's get into the fun part of actually using the damn thing. Bit bloody dusty up here. Wonder how that happened. I think I'm going to come 2 bricks down all the way around the edge. That'll help me cover a little bit more of the pipe work and a few of these painted fixtures and make it all blend in nice. Alright, one of the things with a spray gun that people criticise compared to a roller and paintbrush in terms of saving you time is that you actually have to mask up a little bit more than you would because of overspray. So the blue tape there I've just got over my important electrical fittings and the drive mechanism of my garage door opener. Alright, so the answer is here I have no hope. This tape is never going to hold the weight of this drop sheet. I need some better tape. So I come up with a better solution. Baking paper. I use this stuff all the time. You get it from Aldi, super cheap, and it comes in very long lengths. So if I mask cleanly where I want the paint to stop, and then I'm hoping this will be enough depth of paper to stop the overspray. Honestly, this thing promises minimal overspray, so should work. I'll let you know if it does or not. Fortunately, I just remembered I had these tablecloths. They're like $1 each. They're really light plastic and they're easy to hang, and that's speeding things up a little bit. But geez, this is a pain in the ass. So to be honest, though it's got nothing to do with the Wagner really so far, I've been bloody frustrated. That's taken me over an hour just to mask up the bits that I've done. However, we will persevere and keep on going. First thing, while this does come as a jemmy, and it does kind of work, it's not bad. I don't think it's any better than a screwdriver, to be honest. Alright, so what have we got here anyway? For the ceiling, I've got a ceiling paint and prime. Because I'm going over raw concrete, this is probably going to take at least 2 coats. It doesn't have to look that pretty, it is a garage. and this is just going to save me the step of doing the undercoat. I can just load it up once. That is like feta cheese. I dare say this is going to need some dilution. That is so thick. Take some serious stirring. Right, I've given this a really good stir to get it to a nice consistency. It still is really thick, so we are going to dilute this down once we get it into the pot. Speaking of which, this is the larger pot, the one designed for walls and ceilings. It holds 1.3 litres of paint, but I'm going to start off filling up a little bit less than that. This is a handy feature when you're painting on vertical surfaces like this. You can have that pointed to the front. But when you're going to be tilting upwards for a ceiling like I am, you can point it to the back so that it reaches all the paint and you don't have to refill quite as often. Settings on here, narrow to wide. We're doing a roof, so we're going to set it up onto the wide setting, and the paint flow rate from minimum up to max. And I'm going to start on a medium high because you're meant to do it for that setting at least doing walls and ceilings. I may crank it up once I see how this paint reacts to the gun. Alright, nice big pot. Let's see if we can get some paint in there without putting it all over the floor. They gave you the collars, but it's a wide enough spout. I should just be able to wing it carefully. Alright, so I managed to pour just over a litre in there. So using the magic stick, I'm hoping I can dilute this to the correct amount. Right, so you can see I'm just on one of the teeth there. Therefore, if I fill the water up to fill that void, that'll be 10%. There we go. And give that another good stir and we should be ready to spray. So I'm probably only going to be able to use this thing once, but I really just want to get the hang of this before I start applying it inside. Here we have the test pattern. We have it set up to vertical. Let's had a quick spray out on some plastic just to get the nozzle all primed up. Two-stage trigger, the first one. See, no paint comes out, that's just engaging the motor. Pull it all the way down and you'll start to get some paint flow. I've got myself set up to the recommended lower end of the settings for ceiling paint. Wish me luck. What's hilarious there is that seems to be coming out sideways, but I've got the nozzle set to vertical. Let's try switching it. Well, I'm about to lose my poster and I've got a leaf blower man behind me, but what's really funny is that orientation, if you can see it, is actually that way. It's counterintuitive. Alright, it seems to be giving quite a nice coverage and the overspray isn't too bad. I think that's manageable. Let's go inside and give this a try. So I've set it what I hope is going to be allowing me to move backwards and forwards like this. The hardest part is not going in an arc motion. You want to stay about 20 centimeters away from the wall at all times. And as we have come inside, time for the mask. So already I've got the problem is that the amount of air coming out of the front of this is actually blowing my masking tape off the wall and pretty much buggering up my masking. So that plastic sheeting should hopefully work better, but this is actually been still painful. I mean, I know I'm a novice, but I'm showing you this as a person who doesn't know what they're doing, trying to use a new tool, and so far it's been very frustrating. The learning curve on it is quite high. On the plus side, the coverage is looking okay for the 30 seconds I could do it for. And I mean, can you see that? Look at that, it's already dripping out everywhere. I'm going to try and turn the amount of paint down a little bit. yeah, turning the paint down there has helped a bit, but I also really want to get my goggles. I forgot them. Got a lot of air and paint blowing around, don't want that in your eye. Alright, that's working better. I can see the paint going on. It's going on really nicely. It is quite heavy, and working overhead like this, I can see myself getting a sore neck as we make progress. Once I get away from these edges, which are obviously the really hard part as they are with any style of painting, it should be quite fast on the larger surface areas, and the finish that you're getting is really nice too. So, I'm learning. Not an easy tool to use. Going to be honest on this review. So far, I think I can see the potential in it, and it's down to my skill, which is causing all the frustration and the shortcoming. So, as a beginner picking up one of these, don't expect it to be quite as intuitive as just using a roller and a brush. I'm not getting drips all over the floor, which is nice. The quality of the coverage looks really nice, but you are paying for that in other ways. Okay, time to stop chatting and try and get as much of this sealing done as quickly as we can. Alright, I'm starting to fall in love with this thing a little bit. I know I've been bitching a lot, but now I've gotten through one complete pot of paint, I am seeing the point. The finish up there is beautiful. It is really easy once you get more confident with the tool. As usual, it becomes easier. When the weight starts to drop, it becomes easier. And you know when it's empty because it just starts spraying air and you're not covering anymore, which has just happened. But I am enjoying the process now, which is why we're supposed to be doing these things. Okay, dokes, let's refill quickly and keep on going. I reckon probably about a third done. Just under a third. Oh, I have also put these on. While it's not a super loud machine, in this echoey garage, and over time, well, always better to be safe than sorry. Oh, dearie me, got light in my face. But I'm done. I have a few more words to say about this thing, good and bad. Once I catch my breath, it is bloody hard work. And do one more little pass through any spots that I missed. Now, the other part with this is the cleanup. There's less than 100 mils of paint in there, and I could have kept going. It does use up pretty much all the paint that you put in the pot, so you're going to be losing even less than you do as a roller. Well, I've got mixed feelings about the Wagner. This sealing paint and prime, I've only done one coat, and I'm only going to do one coat. From what I can see, for a garage, it's good enough. It is certainly looking nice and bright. Inside, you'd want more than one, but I don't want to have to remask again. It's late, this has taken me hours longer than I thought it would, and I still have the cleanup to go. So you have to pull this whole thing apart. That clips off. So you can soak that in water and clean it. This one here will unscrew. It's got to be careful because it can leak out some paint. I discovered earlier. And you can see it's not too bad in there. But again, that can be cleaned underwater, and this bit in here all needs to be cleaned too. After that, you've got to then run water through the system and just spray out the water to clean all the internal lines. That's not the worst of it though. I do have white dots pretty much everywhere. So I only masked up the first foot of the walls or thereabouts, and everything on the benches, all the floor, all the tools, everything pretty much has got some overspray on it. Now, they are only little specks, and they are going to come off, but Would I do it again? Maybe. As a novice, I would probably try something much easier with the gun before attempting a sealing, which is probably one of the more difficult things that you can do with such a device. Fence outside where you don't have to worry about overspray, small projects, I can see them working better, but this sort of stuff, it was challenging. Let's pull it off and give you a look at what it finally turned out like. Well, there you go. Got a nice clean line across those two brick height, just like I wanted. The texture on the ceiling, I mean obviously it's got texture, it was just roughshod concrete, but the paint texture for one coat looks pretty bloody good. Right, well that wasn't an enjoyable project and it was frustrating, it was difficult, but it's done. The Wagner Flexio 590, I think it's a good machine. It definitely does what is on the label. Does it save you time? When you get to know how to use it, probably is the answer. Is there still an awful lot of buggering around and cleaning up that you were trying to avoid by using a roller in the first place? Yes, there definitely is. So I wouldn't recommend this if you're only going to be painting once in a while, and I certainly wouldn't recommend starting with a ceiling as your first job. But if you've got a fence to do, and hopefully in the future, I'll use it a bit more on some small projects with some stain and varnish, and we'll see how that goes. This is a job almost well done. At the end of the day, you can't win them all, and at least this one isn't a complete disaster. Catch you next time.